This one comes in from Matt, and Matt asks, he had a little bit more here, but I'll just ask you the questions. What was it about Pixels that made people so angry? Bad movies come out all the time, but something about Pixels was different in the amount of rage it stirred up in the general public. And a follow-up question here, what are some other things that trigger irrational anger in you guys other than Minions and bad Adam Sandler movies? So, Alex, let's start with you. What do you think it was about Pixels that kind of got under your skin, or did it?
Hey, that's the thing. It didn't really. Like, I mean, I think, and we talked about this a little bit when Austin and I did that podcast, you know, there were some people that were sort of like, did not understand that we were saying negative things about the movie because we weren't screaming about it. We weren't saying this is the most god-awful garbage that has ever existed. We were saying, well, no, it's a bad movie, and here's why. So it didn't really inspire that much. I would say that the anger it inspired in me was prior to seeing it. Like, the very concept of it just sounded so just wretched that it made me unhappy.
Like a money grab kind of way?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I knew...
Lazy?
It is lazy. I mean, they just took a short film that someone made and said, well, what if we just slapped, you know, some Adam Sandler dick jokes into this and tried to, you know, make something out of it. And yeah, that is lazy. But like every Adam Sandler movie for the last 20 years that isn't Punch Drunk Love is pretty lazy.
Well, I really like Big Daddy.
That's a joke he's making.
What?
That's not a joke?
Well, I do like Big Daddy.
Which one's Big Daddy?
You delivered that with such...
No, that Big Daddy is a fantastic film.
I could not disagree with you more on this one.
Big Daddy's good, man.
Wait, so
I had a fondness for it, and then I left Adam Sandler behind, and I haven't gone back to it, so I don't know that I don't think I can.
I didn't like it when I saw it.
I was younger than you were.
Not that much. Well, you're not that much younger than me.
No, okay, that's fair.
Big Daddy's okay.
I think it's a good movie. I think it's his last good movie.
I had to look up a picture of it to remember that. Yeah.
Wait, did Punch Drunk come after or before?
I think before.
I thought it came after.
Oh, no, after. You're right.
Yeah, it's after.
Well, maybe in the vein of comedies.
Sure. Okay. Yes. All right.
Because I do love
Punch Drunk Love is like a comedy. It has comedy-like things in it.
Yeah, the Philip Seymour Hoffman stuff at the end is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
it's a very French comedy. I don't know.
Totally.
Does anybody want to add into the Pixels anger anymore, or do you want to move into anything else that makes you super angry?
So don't you think it's like this? The reason we're upset is like it's this collective like insult where like it's our generation, which is like now the loudest, I guess, and like the most has the most attention. It just sort of like, man, you mess with something that we really like.
I would say it's more a form of exasperation that this is still generally the tone and tenor of what video game movies are.
Right. And like, this is still doing this?
Like, this is still what video game companies are striving for when it comes to their properties and their characters and whatnot, like in the realm of video games. Like, you know, Wreck-It Ralph is, and especially after something like Wreck-It Ralph, which showed that you can do something like this and treat it with a certain amount of care and not make it complete, hot, flaming garbage.
Let's
a reminder, just for people who didn't hear it, because I know some people didn't even know this feed existed, but there's a Giant Bomb Presents feed, which is where Alex and I did like a 30-minute deep dive on this.
On Pixels.
Yeah, on Pixels. Also, I will say, and this is the cynical thing in me, I'll link this from one to question one to question two. There are certainly people, and this might be cynical of me, but I actually think I don't think I'm being cynical here, because I'm not saying everyone is doing this, but there are people for whom getting angry in public is like a way of making money, and it's a way of like getting attention, and like that attention feels nice as someone who writes publicly.
I mean, I've definitely done my share of ranting on the internet.
Absolutely. And so that is like a little positive incentive to get angry on the internet about something like this.
But in general,
my second thing is the thing that makes me irrationally angry.
I thought that was going to make you irrationally angry. Is people getting irrationally angry on the internet?
Is people getting irrationally angry?
There it is.
Is late capitalism?
Oh,
I don't think I tend not to get irrationally angry, but it is like I see people devote a lot of time and energy into like being as loud and vicious as possible. And I know that often they're very talented people who could instead give me a nuanced takedown that would have longer lasting, stronger effects. Like, you know, a careful takedown of something like Pixels is something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But incisive criticism is not something you can easily sell to a mass audience.
And that frustrates me. It doesn't make me angry, but it frustrates me.
I would say it makes me a little angry.
I'm not, but who am I angry at that point? Like, I mean,
the world,
yes.
which, I mean, it's not any individual person's problem. It's that this is just sort of the level of discourse that we have allowed ourselves to foster in these kinds of public arenas.
Yeah, I think you're a little rational in that anger.
I know, but that's just
it's not quite irrational enough.
That's just how I am.
Yeah, I need
this is as close as I get.
Like, for me, all right, so I'll give you mine, because I think it's irrational, and I think being irrational means you can be called out on it. Uggs.
Okay.
For some reason, Uggs make me irrationally angry.
That's you're well within your right to.
My girlfriend is also made irrationally angry by Uggs.
Oh, really?
Yes,
like,
she hates them.
A lot of people do, and that's the thing that ends up moving this. Is that like what we consider rational is socially agreed upon. Right? Reason has changed over the years. What is considered a reasonable position to have reflects greater social.
It is ideally a forever evolving concept.
Right.
Yes,
and maybe not evolving towards one final perfect, rationality.
But I wonder.
And so when a lot of people agree with you,
is that a rational anger?
Suddenly I have to wonder.
Right, like is hating Crocs. Is that what they were called?
Crocs.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate Crocs.
Like, obviously, everyone hates those. Everyone hates them.
We also don't necessarily always have access to the reasons that are following in our mind. Like, you could be doing a weird logical calculation that you don't really even have access to as to why you hate.
Right, like, why do we all hate selfie sticks so much?
Because they're horrible.
Right, exactly.
Because they're horrible.
Because they're terrible.
Well,
that's
you know what it is?
But why?
Right. You know what it is? I actually can rationalize my anger.
I kind of can too, but I want to hear you.
I initially started out as the anti-selfie kind of mentality. I think the whole thing, I really didn't like it. I thought it was just a dumb thing.
Sure.
I have since grown to understand why people take them, why they can't take a lot of them, what it means to them, what it means to their self-esteem. I'm kind of okay with that. The stick, though. Mm-hmm. The stick, it's just... I'm having a real hard time articulating it, but it's just
it's got a minion-like quality to it.
But you know what it is? It's an obliviousness.
Yeah,
it is a person walking around with a big fucking stick with a cell phone attached to it, and just kind of blindly walking around, waving it around, just kind of like. And you're not even when you're not using the damn thing, you're just carrying it up. You're holding it up. You're holding your goddamn phone aloft. You're not doing.
But even this is rational because all you're saying here is that like what you value more than a person's freedom to wave a stick around is our social more, is our decision not to act in certain ways, and that's still a reasonable. That's still an argument. You know?
It's the same thing I have with people who hold giant maps in the middle of the sidewalk. You know, it's like I get it. You need to figure out where you're going, but stand off to the side.
You value personal space.
So, don't put the stick away when you're not fucking using it.
So what I'm learning real quick is like apparently all of what I thought were irrational anger are totally rational. Like a lot of my stuff's fashion too. I just scribbled down a few things. Like when someone wears like a sweater and like sweatpants in the dead of the hottest day of the year. Like I see that a lot, and I'm just like, "Fuck's wrong with that guy?"
It's a fashion choice.
That freaks me out.
Fashion is always irrational.
People who this is so stupid. Like people who still carry umbrellas well after the fact when it stopped raining.
Oh yeah,
that drives me nuts.
That doesn't bother me. It's just
I just want to go out to be like, "Are you that oblivious? Stop holding that heavy thing, man."
But that makes me put my umbrella away.
Yeah,
that also is a trigger of like, oh yeah, right, it stopped raining. Yes, I got to remember now.
Yes. So like people who walk inconsistently, that's the map thing for you. Yeah. That drives
texting
me
while they're
nuts.
Yeah,
while and then driving
is rough.
And then driving stuff too.
I see. I don't drive.
Driving for me, the road rage is very real.
It is.
And when I drive and I like look over and I see someone on their phone, I fantasize about like shunting them.
I fantasize about it, giving them a little tap.
Yeah, like trading a little paint and being like, my car could probably...
It's illegal in Jersey, right? To have their cell phone out?
Yeah, it's most states it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much anytime I'm driving on a freeway, that scene from L.A. Story where Steve Martin is firing guns out of his car because it's open season on the L.A. freeway is playing out in my head.
It just drives me so crazy when and I know that the light is green, and I know exactly why the person in front of me is taking those 4 seconds longer to shift from the brake to the gas because they have to just hit send.
That's irrational. Again, I think that's rational.
Yeah, for me, what I'm saying. I'm learning a lot.
I think the Uggs thing is like I understand they're probably comfortable, but like for me, it's just like they look like slippers, or they look like they serve a purpose in the Arctic, or they but like on the streets of Manhattan,
they're not functional.
They're not functional.
You know what?
They might be. They might be.
I've got it.
Oh, yes.
I've got my irrational anger.
Okay.
One that I literally cannot trace back to anything other than a personal failing, just a character flaw. Sonic fans.
Okay.
You don't like Sonic fans?
No, I don't. And here's the thing. There's no good reason for me to hate Sonic fans. I don't like Sonic the Hedgehog games, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, lots of people don't. But the fandom around Sonic the Hedgehog just drives me up the wall in a way that I have no real understanding of.
Alex, Sonic is real, and he is our friend.
We're not
If
going
he
back
was
down this
real,
rabbit
I would
hole.
exterminate him.
That's how irrational it gets.
Whoa.
That's irrational. That's irrational.
Tell me if this is irrational. We can move on. Is it? I have an anger issue with like people who don't know they're making weird noises with their mouth.
Wait.
Like someone who like eats very loudly. Like,
Would you tell me if I did?
yeah,
Okay, good.
Because if I know you, you're gonna hear it.
That is getting near irrational.
Okay, good. Okay, at
getting
least
there.
I had one.
Yeah, that's getting near.
Well, like this is like the thing with like the word irrational is like that feels like instinctual almost, and like it's just hard to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's in my head. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't you like being quiet?
Right. It's like I don't even know I'm doing it. That's very
It
irrational.
drives me crazy.
Okay, that's
Yes.
it for me.
Yeah.
Here's the one: is like there are times in my day where like if I've just woken up, like do not talk to me. I need this hour, and it's not. Here's the thing: it's not people who. It's not strangers. When strangers do this to me, I'm like, whatever. They don't know me. But it's like when people who know me, like want to have
Need your
deep
time.
talks at it. Like I've been up for 20 minutes, dog. I need to not. Please.
How does that happen? Like someone just in
like
your
if I'm with
room?
family, or
Okay,
if I'm,
okay,
like if I'm
gotcha.
out on vacation with someone or
Gotcha.
something like that, or like
Yeah.
if I've just like wandered on, into work or something.
Yeah.
Not here, but in the past.
Oh no, you can.
Well, my
lay it
commute
on.
is long enough here where like I'm awake by the time I'm
Right,
here.
right.
But like there have been times where like I just walk down the block to get to work and like don't engage with me about what you saw on TV last night
Yeah.
yet. Like I'm not there yet.
I think that's rational.
It is, but it's still
That's kind of irrational because the other people can't possibly.
They don't know.
Well, they should know.
They
I don't know. You just woke up.
Yeah, but they do because I fucking work there. they know.
And the bed's over there.
I look like a mess. Vinny.
He's still rubbing his eyes.
Yeah,
I don't
got
know.
crud. I didn't even have time for a shower.
I'm regretful about the number of angry emails we're going to
I
get
know.
about the Sonic thing, and I'm sorry.
Well, you said it's irrational.
Yes.
It is, and I want to just stress, it's not that I hate you as people, I just hate your fandom. I just hate the fandom. That's it.
Also, I want to
I
clean
like
up the things. When I said that logic moves, I understand that you can do a logical proof. Listen, I know. I've given it lots of thought.
Okay.
We're not going to get into that fight.
But yeah.
Oh, hey, another thing I guess maybe this is rational. Pedantry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely right.
Is irrational or rational? I'll give you.
I don't
another,
even know.
I'll give you another rational one while we're here just venting.
Maybe the irrationality is the level of response.
I think that's more what it is.
It could be, or it could be the level of interpretation from the other person.
Sure.
Is this person doing this on purpose, or is it
right,
just
right.
eating food and doesn't
Yeah.
know? Like, you can't get that
You're
mad.
assigning
Yeah.
intention.
Intention.
So what-
right.
Like, I used to get irrationally mad when the interns across from us would talk about how excited they were for the Entourage movie. But you know what? I didn't express that. I didn't bother them. I didn't say hateful things about them. I just said, you know what? This bothers me. It is what it is.
Oh, you're strong. That is a strong-willed person.
Here's another rational one that I think we can solve as a society is when the doors open, move out of the way on whatever mass transit or elevator you're using.
That
Do
is-
not stand in front
super
of the
rational.
door.
That is almost like blue law.
That should be punishable.
But I'm serious. Like that is something the majority of people equally understand.
It's almost like if you're going to stand on the left side of the escalator, you need to be moving.
Yes.
Right. It's fast lane.
But when they don't, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And I don't.
Are
Think
you?
that-
Would you? Do you
I think
say
that's-
something to?
Sometimes they don't know.
Do you say something?
First of all, I've also found that that's like international too. Like that happens in other
Yeah,
countries.
but for me, it
I've
only
visited.
happens in cities.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a mall in South Jersey and you're on the left side of an escalator, like you don't know. You
Well,
don't
if
know.
you're in South Jersey, you really have nothing to be
That's
in a
true.
hurry about. So
Listen, Maroon 5 played in Atlantic City this weekend,
I'm sure.
and 50,000 people.
yeah,
There was a
took
couple.
their time getting there.
There was.
I believe that 50,000 people still like Maroon 5 inexplicably. Yeah, sure.
And they would probably also stand on the left side. of the
Their
building.
left lane escalator right now.
There was a couple on an escalator, and you could tell they didn't have any idea. And I happened to be the ones just behind them in the left lane, and it started stacking up behind me. You could
And you're
feel
that
it,
guy.
and you can feel it.
And
so
now
now the pressure's on me,
Yeah.
and I had to do the tap on the shoulder
Hey.
because also there was room on the right side. And I had to be like, hey, just a heads
how
up,
this
this is the kind of the walking lane on this stuff, and they're like, oh, I didn't know.
So like that's easily fixable. You just paint like a yellow line on the escalator
Says
with
express.
arrows, and then you put feet like footprints on the right side.
People wouldn't get it.
People
I
wouldn't
think
get
they
it.
would.
Look at this art exhibit in New York. It's very.
Was Banksy here?
Banksy's new piece.
Or they would only stand on the left side and be like, well, obviously the right side's fucked. Like, there's no feet on there. I don't even know. I should stand on the footprints, right?
I got to rethink this.
And the subway doors where people are just like, the door's open. It's like, I can't get off, motherfucker. I can't get
I
off.
live here.
And you're going to come on before I get off? Fuck you.
How's that
I'm
gonna
grabbing
work?
you and I'm going to tackle you to this platform and none of us are getting on or off this train. I'm making a scene because that annoys me so much.
I've said when I've been on a packed train and there's some dickhead just standing right in the. I'm just like, we are at an impasse.
Totally.
Like this cannot work in
I
the
don't care
physical
if you
universe.
stalemate.
We occupy.
You can try and turn your shoulders all you want. I'm not moving until you just inch to the side and let the 500 people who need to get off get off.
Just step off for a second.
You'll get
you can hold the thing.
You can
it's
hold
not
the
gonna
thing.
Close.
It might close, but
Right.
you might break it for everybody. Just wait a second.
Are you a ghost, sir? Can I pass?
You do not seem to be a ghost.
Can I pass through your existence?
Because if you
right
can,
now?
we don't have a problem.
Also, back
Exactly.
off the pole a little bit. Don't need to put your butt crack on the pole. You don't actually need to straddle the pole. Like some people want to put their hands on that thing.